Well, hey y'all. How y'all doing? Y'all already right? I mean, what's really going on? And when I say what's really going on tonight, I mean that thing from the pit of my very shana. Let me first and foremost take this opportunity to apologize to you all for the lateness in the start of our show on this evening. We are exactly 5 minutes late with starting the broadcast. But listen, I expect this type of thing to happen when we have so much power on the line. And y'all already know what it is. When we get into the numbers, we understand that five represents grace. So I just thank God for the grace and the wisdom to have four different devices in front of me because one of my devices decided to act crazy on this evening. But we're going to go ahead and bless the Lord for each and every one of you all tonight, right now. And I mean right now. It's your girl, Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims of Twisted Threads LLC. And we are feeling fabulous and mighty fine about tonight's show. We have, wow, a powerful and impactful conversation scheduled to host with you all tonight. And of course, we're going to get into a little bit of our own personal views from the Petty Pew. We're going to travel merrily down the stream and, of course, get into that roundtable discussion that you all come to know and love what's really going on. And, of course, we're going to receive. So get ready for yet another reflection of purpose by our very own master life coach, Miss Karen Sims, at least that's her last name right now. Miss Karen Sims of Twisted Threads. So y'all already know I like to act up. Karen, how you doing, girlfriend?
I am doing okay. We know, like you mentioned, we know tonight is gonna be fire. Because we here. That's all we're gonna say. Y'all know we be trying to come in here on time because we respect your time, but we also get super excited about spending this time with you all. I got a couple of things to talk about, this week because we did a all day movie date. That's what we did this past weekend. By the end of the evening, we was not only tired of the movies, but maybe a little tired of each other as well. But God be gracious, here we still are. Let me fan. I'm doing all right. Still on the road to bliss. So no casualties over here. And we'll talk about some more kind of super excited opportunities that are on the horizon, and just how things are moving in alignment for so many different areas. Y'all know, even when y'all don't see us, we up to something, or we involved in something, or our name is being called to lead and participate in different things. We're super excited about that. So I got to kick it back over to you, Tilted. How are you doing?
Girl, I'm doing all right. After we survived a glimpse of what Armageddon could possibly look like over the course of the last week, I'm grateful that I have the tools in my arsenal to clear my throat and nasal passages in a more natural and holistic way. Because those of you who've been hanging out with us, I'll be questioning everything, and I don't know what we were inhaling. Because it was more than just a little ash in that wildfire that came specifically from trees, that came specifically from wildlife, the wildebeest and the animals and the bunny rabbits that might have been caught up. There were buildings, there were cars, there were homes that were destroyed by that rambunctious fire. So we were inhaling that thing. And of course, you all know I've been sharing my journey with DCIS, also known as Stage Zero breast cancer. I had to drive through all of that. So, I questioned my surgeon because I had to go into Philadelphia where I'm receiving treatment. And I was like, hey, yeah, y'all going to be able to perform my procedure? Because I got to drive through this ash. Am I going to be able to shower up when I get there? I don't want to be infected by some unknown something from Canada.
I get it.
Or northern points that I might have got on my body while I was driving through this different atmosphere. But thank God. Shout out to Dr. Austin Williams and his team. that took such great care of me while I was down at Fox Chase last week. Shout out to my daughter. I'm grateful to share that my baby is an excellent driver. Her mama did have a huge hand in teaching her how to drive. But baby girl honored her mother in every single one of her actions on last week. She even made sure I had a little piece of salt caramel chocolate when I got home, to give me a little comfort, a little nibble while I was going merrily down the stream, resting and recuperating, so I could go ahead and show up for myself and for the Juneteenth Lehigh Valley team. Y'all already know we are swiftly approaching Juneteenth, which is actually next Monday. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a participant in some form of activity with Juneteenth Lehigh Valley since its inception and its first celebration here in Lehigh Valley, 3 years ago. Shout out to the illustrious Queen, Kiana Cox Jones, for allowing me to participate in the educational theater piece, teaching people about what the Emancipation Proclamation was, because at that point, a lot of people hadn't heard about Juneteenth. So fast forward, Juneteenth Lehigh Valley has done an exceptional job of making sure that our voices are heard here in Lehigh Valley, and they have planned a week's worth of celebrations. Whether you're in Allentown, they got something going on for you all there. Whether you're in Bethlehem, they got something going on for you. Whether you're in Easton, hey baby, come on through, especially on Monday, when Easton will host its first Juneteenth parade right there in Easton. And there's going to be a number of different participants. And, after sharing a reading on Sunday, yours truly, along with our lovely sister, Natural D, who's not on the platform on tonight, but she's getting it lit in the chat rooms. Hey, girl, I see you. Listen, we were graced and asked to assist the beautiful Queen, Tracy Garvin Springer, with hosting her event at Seagal Museum there in Easton, Pennsylvania. She is actually hosting a fashion show at 7 p.m. And yeah, we're going to be in the building. I'm grateful for the connection with Tracy Springer, because we go back a little ways as well. I initially made contact with her when she was given my name for a scripted reading for Colored Girls. And for those of you who have been riding with me for a while, you all know I've hosted Miss Springer here on the show to talk about her fashion styling prowess. She is bad to the bone. Karen, you've thrown your hat in on Juneteenth Lehigh Valley, and I think Twisted Thread and done some sponsorship on this week. Holla at our listeners right now.
Yeah, so as always, I'm down here in North Carolina, but y'all already know my hearts are roaming around those streets in the Lehigh Valley. So I'm always connected there. And so we are sponsoring tickets to the upcoming event that Tracy is hosting and leading, all things fashion. She brings it every single time, whether it is from costume design to just sharing her fashion style. I gotta say, literally worldwide. So we're super excited that we've got 3 tickets that we are sponsoring for folks to come on out, go out. Listen, I put an extra ticket in there because I need somebody to represent me in these streets. I can't be there, but we can definitely support the great work that's going on and the celebration. Why? Because in all that we need to be getting, we got to understand not only what this holiday celebration is about, but why it's so important to us, our communities, and what's out there. So Twisted Threads is sponsoring 3 tickets for our listeners, and we're going to be selecting some participants to receive those tickets tonight so that y'all could go and represent. And I think that's this upcoming, is it Thursday that the
girl is? Yes, it is Thursday night.
So go
it
to
is Thursday night.
Literally, go to sleep tonight. Go to bed early tomorrow, because Thursday you're gonna be up late on a school night, and it will be
Yeah.
well worth it. I know any time that I have been connected to Tracy, is nothing but excellence. That's all I can say, and a very good doggone time. So expect that. We'll be shouting out our winners a little bit later. I think this evening, so that we can celebrate them. And if it's you, great. If it ain't you, listen, don't be hating on the winners tonight. Y'all know that ain't what we do here on Unhinged. We celebrate every win. So glad that we got that. We talked a little bit about the rundown. I'm excited today, Tilted, because we got some neighbors in the neighborhood.
Is somebody at the door?
Listen, we've been people must know that we over here, because we getting these knocks on the door, and you know how we do when we people who it is when they come to the door. Be like, wait a minute,
Who that?
who that is? So I'm excited. If you are ready, we got somebody knocking at the door. Now I feel like we should let him in. You okay with that?
Yeah, I think you should go ahead and let him in. And he's an old friend of mine. So, I done looked through the blinds and seen who it was. And I'm finna
That's
talk about
good.
him while you let him in the room. I'm talking
Yes,
about him
this a
in
new
front
face for
of his
me, but
face.
here we go.
So yes, tonight's guest is Mr. Afotey Annum of Per Annum Media. Now listen, we go back, okay, before I was living all the way for Christ and stuff. So we are grateful, or at least I am, that there is no video footage that could possibly show up of me down at any of the Freakniks. Okay, but it's a little bit questionable. But check it out. Afotey spent 22 years working as a senior level tech and web developer in the New York City metropolitan area before pursuing a career in cinematography. And y'all already know my heart. I enjoy showcasing the great things that my friends and familia are doing out here in these global streets. And I'm grateful. Thank you, Afotey, for joining us. Say hi to the listeners. Say hi to the babies.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for having me. It's actually a huge honor to be on here, because I'm not gonna lie, like y'all are a big deal. So to have little old me on here, is pretty it's humbling. You know what I'm saying? It really is.
Yeah, well, you know what it is, Afate. You and I have grown up quite nicely. And
Hmm.
I've been watching you from the time we met those years ago. You've always been a breath of fresh air, and you've
Hmm.
also been a person to challenge someone to think past what they think they know. I've always
Hmm.
been a fan of your level of intelligence. So we finna get up into this here conversation. You so check it out. Your story is amazing to me because you are legitimately how it started and how it's going personified. So with
Right.
that being said, Afate, can you where it started? Tell us who you are, where you grew up, and how your professional career started.
So my mom and dad were in Ghana one day, and they started dating. Then they had sex. Then they had me. No, let me stop.
Lord.
Um,
Oh,
no, no. So,
that's for a
um,
little bit. Just a
and
little
we'll
bit.
fast forward a little bit. We'll fast forward a little bit. We'll fast forward a little bit. Uh, my parents are from Ghana, though. That's for sure. That's for real. Yeah. So I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Newark, Brick City, stand up. Um, and went to school, NJIT, studied mechanical engineering. Didn't use any of that for any part of my career. It was basically kind of a waste of time for me to go to college, to be honest with you. I learned a lot, and I was able to meet some pretty cool people, but I didn't use any of that stuff in any of my schooling, any of my professional career. So gr- graduated from college. Or actually, I left it. I didn't even graduate. I left college, and then started working retail for a little while, And then I studied computer science and wound up becoming a content manager for IBM in New York City. And that was like my first corporate job. And the rest was, as they say, proverbially history, right? Just started working for all these agencies, doing all kinds of pretty awesome things. I managed a team that built a version of the American Express website. I built an iteration of the IHOP website. I built a version of the Cialis website. Um, Chantix, like all these things that I was able to do. And then, and I loved it because I was always a geek. I'm one of those, you have different types of men, right? You got the sports guys who are like into sports and stuff like that. And then you have guys like me who are a little bit more nerdy and then into like, nerdy stuff. And that was me. I'd always been that nerdy dude. So I loved doing, computer stuff. It was pretty fun, to be honest with you, for the 20 plus years that I did it. But one day I picked up a camera. Um, I had a friend of mine who was doing cinematography for years before I had started, and he had a camera. At the time, he had a red Monstro. It's for those who know cinematography, you know what the red Monstro is. It's a beast of a camera. So he had that thing, and he was doing a corporate shoot at the place that I had worked at the time. I was working at this company called Tech Mahindra, which is a huge Indian tech company. Matter of fact, the largest manufacturers of tractors on earth. I didn't know that until I started working there, but that's what they are. A little bit of trivia. And they got a racing team, an F1 racing team,
What?
like an actual race car and everything. It's weird. It's so wild. So, he happened to be hired for a corporate interview shoot at the place that I was working. I was like, "Oh, what's up, fam? I haven't seen you in years, yada yada." And he let me play with this camera, and the image quality and just the feel of it. I was just like, "Yo, I like this a lot. Like, this feels nice." So I decided to get into cinematography, and normally, if you're transitioning from one position to another, you kind of like dip your toes in. I jumped all the way in. I didn't even like I quit my six-figure job to do this. You know what I mean? Like I was making a
That's
hundred and
right.
something plus $1,000 a year, and I said, "Nah, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do this." And I got, as we were talking before backstage, I got lucky. I got lucky in the sense that so the big break. There were two big breaks, but the first big break, my daughter and we went to WizardCon in Philly years ago, and there was this movie called Found Footage 3D that was premiering. It was doing the festival circuit, and it premiered there, and we watched it, and it was actually really good. It was a really good, very funny found footage horror movie. And one of the actors and one of the producers were in the crowd. And me being the people person that I am, I walked up to them and talked to them and was like, "Yo, how did you do this?" Just picking their brains. And we became, friends. Fast forward like 2 or 3 years, the director of that film, who was not at WizardCon that year, the director of the found footage 3D film kind of tapped me to do some script supervision and some script assistance, some assistant production work on a short film that he had done called Stop, which was about two black men being pulled over in I think it was somewhere in the South. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I want to say it was in North Carolina. But somewhere in the South they got pulled over, and it was essentially a horror movie.
It
And
could be
you know
in real life.
yeah, and it's it's a really really scary short. It like legitimately is scary, like for real. And there's no supernatural anything in it. There's no monsters per se. There's no like demons or devils or wizards or anything like that. It's just the as three people of color, we already know where the
We
fear
already
comes
know.
from. You already know where the fear comes from in that. So, he tapped me because, I guess he trusted my judgment in terms of like, does this make sense? Is this something that a black person would do? I was basically kind of like, the black guy that he ran this past to make sure it was official and kosher. You know what I mean? But in doing so, I got assistant production credit on it, which then,
Nice.
put me on IMDb. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's what put me on IMDb. And that was only after 2 years, 2.5 years of doing it, So I was like, oh, see, I am on the same platform as people like Idris Elba, name a celebrity, they're on there, and I'm on there. So I was like, all right, I can do this. I was like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And so then the second break was with a good friend of mine. His name is D. Elliott Woods. He's an actor from Los Angeles, and he's done a ton of stuff. He's done a ton of really cool things in Hollywood, and he's friends with Sandra Ferrari, Keith Burke, all these like famous actors. And he did a short film called Life and Lemons, which was about domestic violence during the pandemic. And that was also a horror movie, more so of a thriller than anything else. And that had a little bit of a supernatural aspect to it, but I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. And he asked me to do scoring, film scoring, and a little bit of music production for it. So that was my second IMDb thing, you know what I mean? And then that's when it was like, okay, now I can charge people
Word, because I know what you
real
said to
money
me.
now.
I know what you said to me when I was trying to book this interview. I was like, sir, no. I'm trying to interview you at this point. Not trying to shoot the video yet.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it'll be $17,000. But yeah, so I got right place, right time. Just happened to know people who were already into this business. And then Nikita, you already know, like, we both kind of have mutual friends who are into music, into movies, into fashion, and all of those people could benefit from what I was offering. So I decided to work with them too, to kind of like build my portfolio. You know what I'm saying? Did a couple videos with Rod Digger, Young Z, Drez from Black Sheep. I caught Queen Latifah a couple times, KRS-One. So I got lucky, you know what I mean? And I keep saying lucky, but because I'm trying to be humble, but I put in that work. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, listen.
It is, call it.
But I put in a lot of work, and it's still not 100% where I kind of want it to be yet. There are still months where I'm like, what are my kids gonna eat? You know what I mean? But I still press on, because there was the outside of the IMDb thing, there was this one job that I had, my first corporate interview thing, the same thing that the guy that kind of inspired me to do this, he was doing a corporate interview. I eventually wound up getting the same kind of position, and I got paid to do that job. It was an 8-hour job. I got paid more in that 8 hours than I ever made at any point in my life before, even when I was at the top of my corporate, $100,000 a year job game. Like, I would have had to have worked a whole week to make what I made in 8 hours doing the cinematography thing. So that's when I was like, yeah, that for real, I'm going all in on this.
That's what's
and so
up.
yeah, that's basically where I'm at now. Just trying to hustle and keep going, and So if any of y'all watching these some video stuff, come holler at your boy.
So now listen, I love all of the opportunity, and that's one of the reasons why we invite you and folks like you, because we know that your story not only will inspire but also spark up some of that. Okay, how do I take that leap? because there are many of us,
Hmm.
maybe it's a 6-figure job, maybe you at 5 figures, old and strong at the tippity
Hmm.
tip top or somewhere in the middle. But we know, a lot of times we hear that salary is sort of that drug that they pay us to kind of keep us occupied on
Exactly.
somebody else's dream versus taking
Hmm.
that leap. Can you just share with our listeners, Afotey, like what was that kind of what was that push? I heard you talk about your corporate background, your family. I got some Guyanese folks who just as close as family could be. So I know you gonna work somewhere, or it's gonna be a different company with the parents in that regard. But what kind of pushed you to say this is it? Like that moment where, do you recall that moment where it was like, yup, this is
Oh
it.
yeah.
I'm walking away and no turning back.
I'll be 100,000% honest. It was that corporate gig where I made more money in that 8 hours than I had worked in a whole week. Like I doing when I was at it was at Digitas. That was when I was at the top of my career. I was a tech lead, and that was when I was like running the team that built the American Express website, that was running like all these, sister and brother websites for it. I had a team of 12 people underneath me. I was making a lot of money. And that one job, I'm telling you, in 1 week I made more than I made in one 8-hour gig. I made more than I made in a whole week, 60 hours.
I love
That's when I was like, yeah, that's it. This is it. That was the moment. There's no existential sort of, revelation, or like some kind of like, you know, it was money. I'm
no
not even gonna lie to
magic.
you.
But listen, Afotey, now I gotta tell you, because you heard a little bit about where I am, and
Hmm.
probably not so much from where I'm from. So where I'm
Hmm.
from is I'm a graduate of Clifford J. Scott High School. So
Hmm.
when we talk about those streets, it's one of those things. When I'm down here, my favorite line is, "Y'all know I ain't from here, right? Like, don't do that. What motivates you don't motivate me. I don't care nothing about your pizza
Right.
party. But when the cash shows up, listen,
Yeah.
it's a different, and I love your honesty with that, because many of us lie to ourselves. Well, no, I did it because it intrinsically made me feel good, and
No.
I'm here for the kids. I'm here for the kids, but mama gotta eat
Hmm.
too. Like we
Yeah.
gotta make sure the bills are paid. We gotta make sure that the
Hmm.
lights are on, that the car payment is paid, and so I love it, because sometimes we can't get past us to get to the realness of, okay, listen, I'm doing this because I love this paper, and I don't want to work super, super hard for less money than that. So if I could
Right.
work a little bit less and get much, much more, that's a boss move all in itself. We ain't even got
Right.
to talk hard about that. That
Hmm.
makes sense all around. So love that you shared.
Yeah,
Love.
and it's like, I have 4 children. One of them, at Penn State. And you know, as we all know, even those of us without kids that are watching, children are expensive, especially here in the Metro New York City metro area. It costs a lot of money to raise a kid. So, and I got 4 of them. So, um, it's all about the money for me. It really is. And the bonus was that I actually enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed doing computer work too. I like coding and sitting behind a computer and just learning this language, these different languages, these different computer languages. But the if I did have to put some sort of like feelings to it, I would say I do enjoy. I get a little bit of a high from when I'm playing back footage that I've recorded to somebody on set, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, look at this! Looks so dope." And, it's particularly, um, and I don't mean to be sexist when I say this, but particularly women, right? Like a lot of women, what they'll do is, and I find this to be the case quite often for me, just in my experience. They'll be like, "Oh, I don't look right. My hair is out of place, or my makeup is not right, whatever." And then I'll be like, "Oh no, you're fine, you're fine." and then I'll film them, and then they'll see what I filmed, and then they're just like, wow, like I did not know I looked this good, and that makes me feel really good, because I'm making people feel good about themselves
Yeah.
in a sense, you know what I mean? So that really helps. That definitely um helps a lot. And to be honest with you, if I didn't really love it, if I didn't really love it, I probably would have went back to corporate, you know.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
as we're in it, can you talk about maybe one or two? Because we know, being an entrepreneur, working for yourself, it is not a easy thing to do. It seems
Mm.
glamorous to folks. I get my own hours. Yeah, but like you said, the bills are still coming, and the kids are
Oof.
expensive. I can attest to that. I have five, and I need you to
Oh
know
Lord.
one thing almost as expensive as the children are the grandchildren. Okay, so I got 10 of them, and a couple of them got cash apps, and they like to send me requests. Like, Mimi, send me the hold up, back this up. Like, can I
You
get a
said they got
call
cash app.
or and I love you, Mimi, and then I'll automatically send you money. TT, you watching? I already know. If you give me a quick "I love you, Mimi," you never know what'll be coming your way. But they be sending the cash app requests.
For
Afotey, and
sure.
then I gotta tell their mamas that ain't my business to give them, like,
Yeah.
I'm not buying nothing required. All of my stuff that I send is extra, but I have 10
Mm.
grandchildren, so it's a lot of them when it comes
Well,
to all of that.
let me just say, first of all, you don't look old enough to have any grandchildren.
Oh,
That's
bless
what I
you.
got.
Keep it
Yeah, I got to
coming.
say that off rip. You sure enough don't look
Keep
old enough to
it
have grandchildren.
coming. Listen, you keep running after them, the age won't catch up with you. That's my the faster you run after them, that age ain't gonna find you. Now, if you sit down somewhere, I can't promise it's gonna be the same. So literally keep it moving for your own longevity is kind of the moral of the story, maybe.
For
Love
sure,
that.
for
But can
sure.
you tell us about some challenges that you face as you have run and continue to grow your business?
I would say, yeah, the biggest challenge I have right now, and it's something that I just kind of did some things to remedy, was attracting the right kind of clients, right? So, I've not really had much of an issue getting people to look at my stuff. Um, I've not really had a problem with, having people recognize, my Instagram or my, Facebook or my Twitter or whatever as the social media account of a person who does cinematography, right? It's pretty obvious. But the problem is, or the problem was, I should say, well, it still is, uh, the way I was marketing myself, I was kind of just like doing everything.
Mm,
I was basically that dude who would shoot anything. And what I've come to find out is, in this particular business, you have to kind of be a specialist. You have to niche down and kind of be an expert on one type of thing. You can, of course, do other things, on the side for money, right? Like, sort of like, Walmart. Walmart will sell you pretty much anything. But if you want to get something for, home repair, you go to Home Depot or Lowe's. You know what I mean? Because they specialize in that. And that's kind of what I've had to do with my stuff, like, because when I first started, I was just that guy who would just shoot whatever, from bar mitzvahs to
mm,
porn. Like, I would shoot it all. You know what I mean? But now I've kind of niched down to be specifically somebody who works on film stuff, right? So if you got like short films, short movies, movie type stuff, that's the type of stuff that
mhm,
I'm trying to
mhm.
niche down on. And I've decided to just shoot content with anamorphic lenses. That's all I shoot with now. And those lenses, for anybody who's wondering, are different from the other types of lenses that are out there, in the sense that they manipulate light to change the picture in a certain way, right? So if you think about, pretty much any movie that you've seen in the past, I don't know, 10 years that is like a science fiction movie, particularly science fiction movie or an action film. Those are generally usually shot with anamorphic lenses. And they're very expensive. They're very, very expensive. Some of them cost as much as a house. You know what I mean? So I have yet to shoot on one of those, but I have been around sets that have had them. But I use anamorphic lenses for all my stuff, and so I changed my website around too to kind of reflect this. So there's a lot of branding that is in the process of happening now to kind of present myself as an expert, a subject matter expert on one type of cinematography. But yeah, like I used to get all kinds of cats that'd be like, "Yo, can you shoot my video for me?" I'd be like, "Yeah," and then I tell them the price, and then I never hear from them again. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to avoid those kinds of clients, as well as the ones that would be like, "All right, um, I'll work with you," but then they become nightmare clients and they expect everything for this little bit of money that they're paying me. You know what I mean? So I've just I'm expensive now. You know what I mean? So I
Word.
kind of have to, yeah, I kind of have to. I've had to change um my branding essentially
Yeah,
to kind of
I love
reflect
that.
that.
The price
You
is
know what
the
I'm saying?
price.
The price
Okay.
is the price.
The
It is
And
what
you
price
it
is
is.
shall pay it.
that
Yep,
And
part.
and
you
you shall
shall
pay it.
pay it.
That's it. That's it. And having a body of work that reflects
Yeah,
why somebody should pay that price
right.
is very helpful. And I fortunately have that. I have that. Um, I could use a little bit more, to be completely honest. I definitely could use a bit more content on my website and in my socials to kind of show that. And another thing too is I'm wearing this neck brace right now, right? Because I was in an Uber accident a couple of years ago. Um,
Mm.
it was pretty bad. I was a passenger. Our Uber got T-boned, and the driver hit the side of the Uber where I was sitting, like directly where I was sitting.
Mm, mm,
And I went, and it was crazy too because like I went from like just getting ready to put on my seatbelt, like literally, like legit. You know how you cross the seatbelt over you? I
mhm.
was doing that. And then the next thing I know, I'm on the floor behind the driver in the place where, like, if you sat behind the driver and you put your feet, that's where I wound up in like some pretzel shape with my arms on fire. You know what I mean? So it was pretty bad. I was in the hospital for like a week and a half, couldn't use my arms. My arms felt like they were dipped in lava constantly. No drugs
Wow.
helped. It was just constant pain. It was pretty bad for like a good week. And then I made a decent recovery. And my lawyer and the neurosurgeon were all like, "Yo, you should get the surgery. You're gonna need this surgery." And I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I feel fine. Whatever." And then and this was a couple of years ago, and these kinds of cases take years to resolve.
Mhm, mhm.
So I'm thinking like, all right, we finna be finished with this. Like I'm done now. I'm okay. I'm about to see this Uber payday. You know what I mean? And put it into the business. Because that's where it's all going, by the way. I'm paying off bills, paying off wifey's bills. I might buy her a Louis Vuitton bag, but all the rest of it is going right into the business. So like about a month or two ago, my back was just like, bro, you trying to pick up a camp? Oh no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. You are not,
Not
no,
today.
not today, sir. It was debilitating. The pain was debilitating, like to the point where I was an old man. I couldn't walk right. I couldn't lay down
Mm,
except for on one
mm.
side. And I'm like, yo, I'm only 40. Well, at the time I was 50 at the time. I just turned 50 in March. So I was like, yo, I'm only 50 years
Hey,
old. Hey, Pisces in the house. 50-year-olds in the
teenager,
house. Ow, teenager.
teenager, teenager, teenager. Hey.
Yep. So yeah, that's that. Long story short, I kind of, they put 3 plates in my neck, and I had this surgery. So that's why I'm wearing this brace now. And another thing that kind of hurt my business was that for most of that time, those 2 years, I wasn't allowed to post the
Right.
very specific things that I needed to in order to grow my business. In other words, I have to show myself doing the work. I have to show myself holding the camera. I have to show myself, directing and, editing and producing and doing all this kind of stuff. And I can't. I'm not allowed to do that. So it definitely put a damper in my business a lot. At first I was like, it's cool. I'll still be able to, market myself in different ways or whatever. But it really hurts. It really does hurt the business when you're trying to be that subject matter expert and you aren't showing you doing the work. It really has been an uphill battle and an uphill climb for me. That still persists to this day. You know what I mean? But I'm getting better. So
that's a good thing. Sound like more things on the horizon. So
Oh yes.
love that.
Oh yes, and of course, I wasn't privy to the details that you just shared, Afotey. So you already know here at Unhinged Live, we don't think or believe that anything is happenstance. I believe that there is a distinct purpose in you being here on the platform because we have reach not only here in the northern tri-state area, we have reach in the southern tri-state as well as on the west coast. So with that being said, Afotey, I want to go ahead and thank you for such an amazing dialogue and conversation. You shared so much, you educated as well as entertained. You got them jokes. And yo, before we conclude your portion, your interview portion of the show, because y'all already know Afotey is going to stay with us all night tonight and get into all of the conversation on this here Joy Tsunami. But before we segue into what's next, can you tell us, Afotey, tell our listeners and our viewers exactly how they can connect with you? Where can they find you on social media?
They can find me on social media at Per Annum Media. So my name.
You better put that logo up there.
Yeah, Per Annum Media. I'm not wearing any pants right now, so I gotta be careful where I
please don't stand up. Please don't do that. Your wife does not come for us. Nope, they wasn't us, wife. It wasn't us.
Right now, and I don't want to explain nothing.
Hey, look. I am stereotypically African style. Let me stop. Look away. No, but
nope, not gonna get me.
Nah, it's all good. She started fanning herself. That's hilarious. So I'm pretty much, you can Google me. I'm Afotey Annum pretty much everywhere on the internet. Literally just Google my name and there will be multiple places for you to come see me. My main website is perannummedia.com. That's PERANNUM media.com. And pretty much all my information is there. My links to my IMDb page, links to my YouTube's, everything is there. LinkedIn, which is another crazy thing, how LinkedIn has become this platform that you can use to grow your business now. Like, it's crazy. Who would have thought LinkedIn? Like, who checks LinkedIn first thing in the morning now? You know what I mean? I do. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I am. You can check me out there. And again, like I said, like you said just now, Nikita, like, you guys are huge, and to have me on here, I'm honored. I'm really, really, truly honored, and it really means a ton to me. It really, really means a whole lot to me that you would have my non-believing, heathen, atheist ass on here. Do you know what I mean?
I need you to know, but here's the beauty in all of this. We appreciate realness. We appreciate the opportunity to connect with folks right where each of us is. And so it's not even a stereotypical, because you know what happened? You gonna believe what you believe, because we're gonna get in the petty pew. So we may or may not. You believe, I believe, and guess what? The world still goes round. So it's an interesting space and time that we're in, where we find it commonplace to hate on each other more quickly than just to share love across our human experiences.
Right, exactly. Like I said in the in the
Yeah, what
pregame,
was that? Yeah, what was that? What was that phrase? You what do you call yourself, Tay?
So I'm an atheist, right? But I identify more so as a secular humanist than anything else, and a
Secular
skeptic.
humanist.
Yeah.
That's powerful stuff.
Yes, secular humanist is essentially somebody who puts human beings first, and has the best interest of the human race in general, all humans at the forefront. So that's kind of where I am in life right now. I don't like honestly, my atheism has very little to do with my life. Like it really does. Like
Exactly.
the only time it ever comes up is if somebody asks me if I believe something. That's it. That's the only time.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Because
it doesn't
you couldn't
really
have been my friend if you was living raggedy. You already know how we do, and
right.
the
Exactly.
clique that we connected through initially wasn't nobody raggedy in the clique.
No.
Everybody,
Yeah. Mhm.
we straight corporate. We're leaders in industry. We're doing things. So
Mhm.
it's our pleasure to host conversations with
Yes.
people don't that do not believe exactly the same way we believe.
Right.
I saw your fruit, and that's how I'm able to label you friend and friend indeed. So for those of you who are tuning in, you've tuned in to Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Tilted Halo. I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims of Twisted Threads. And with us tonight is our guest, Afotey Annum of Per Annum Media. Of course, I want to go ahead and say thank you, thank you, thank you, as we always do. To those of you who are tuned in on tonight, if you're enjoying what you're hearing here on the show, hey, go ahead, tell your mama, cousin, auntie, brother, uncle, them to join us, first of all, in our Unhinged Live group that we share in daily here in the Facebook universe. And then once you get done on Facebook, we need you to go on over to the YouTube Nation and find our pages. We are on multiple streams, not only on Facebook, but on YouTube as well. You need to find us over there on Unhinged Live. You can find us on YouTube as Twisted Threads LLC. You can find us on YouTube as Save the Arts TV. And of course, those names are also, you can find us right here on Facebook. So, in the spirit of true entrepreneurship, we didn't wait for anybody to offer us syndication. We created our own. Because hey, it's in us, and Karen and I are very familiar with what it is to take that leap of faith that we discussed earlier in the conversation. I can tell you that Karen was sitting alongside me when I took my leap so many years ago, when we thought we was just going down to see Prince and them at the Essence Fest. Unbeknownst to me, that trip was God actually putting his hand on my life and going straight like this, turning everything around. And here I sit at the helm of Tilted Halo Broadcast Media Entertainment, LLC, partnered with my friend, one of my very best friends, Karen Sims. So, yeah, we're gonna take a water break right now. And Karen is not only a master life coach, not only one of my good sister friends, prayer partners, armor bearers. She wears so many hats for me. Did y'all know she is a DJ too?
What?
Wiki. Well, we
What?
in it. I'm gonna toss this video DJ mic right on over to my good sis Karen Sims. Go on, take us into the break with this good stuff here. You got us on mute, Karen. We can't hear you.
For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh
Ready or not,
as a thief in the night. Will you be ready?
ready or not,
Will you be ready?
ready or not.
Trials and tribulations come with endurance. It comes from Christ. We gave it the flesh. It be numb. That's who your own understanding. Lukewarm, you getting spewed on fire or cold. Holy Ghost can use you. Refine the fires where you made it out and purified. My Father remains the truth. Let every man be alive. Ready to die at all times. The mark you should possess. When you look at your life, it's the spirit die. You know you flow. The truth is, we all should be like loaded weapons. But bastard spirits, false doctrines, and no reverence. Has hit the body of Christ just like a viral low infection. Holy Spirit to witchcraft. Touch behind the pulpit. And the culprit ain't the temple. Look up in your own eyes. False possession plus people thinking your spirit lies. Calling all the remnant, would you please stand up? Would you please stand up? Stand up.
Ready or not, you can't hide, you can't run. It's gonna find you. Will you be ready? Ready or not, you can't hide, you can't run. It's gonna find you. Will you be ready?
Crucified daily, you die. But in Christ you live, eternal glow versus eternal damnation. Reaping what you sow into the spiritual harvesting is what you gain. But in the flesh, a throw a mess so at the time for your own demise. Jesus Christ is coming back, man, open your eyes. The devil's got you locked up on his agenda. Will you be the one or will you be straight pretending? Living your life no way that this the way it should be. For God is coming for a bride now without a spot or a wrinkle. Will you be entering the gates of heaven or the gates of hell? Let the truth prevail. Got a story to tell about my Jesus Christ, the one who loves so well. But he's the same God that cast you in the lake of fire. If you don't get it right before you expire. If you don't get it right before you expire. If you don't get it right before you expire.
Ready or not, you can't hide, you can't run. It's gonna find you. Will you be ready? Ready or not, you can't hide. It's gonna find you. Will you be ready? You can't run away on that judgment day, oh baby, oh baby. You can't hide from the King, no. Anywhere you go, no, my God's gonna know, baby, oh baby. You can't hide from the King, no. You can't hide. You can't hide. Oh.
That was dope. Oh, I can't hear you, Karen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on mute. I was on mute on purpose. I'm back. Can you hear me now?
We
Yeah,
shouting out our sister Zion, the voice. She is out here, always up to something in these streets, and so just wanted to share a little bit of one of her projects, Ready or Not. You know, that come from our original voices, but super excited to share that musical project. So love you, Zion.
She got bars though.
Yes, she does.
All day.
She got some bars, like for real, for real. Is that her singing as well?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's somebody else that's singing along with her. So she's singing a portion of it, but she's mostly always coming with some straight fire when it comes
that was
to
heat.
rapping. Yeah. Awesome.
That was some heat right there. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So now, Tilted, I got to check in and see, which direction we going into right now, as we stroll along.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the time, and there's a whole lot of deepness to get into. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to scratch something real quick, and we just gonna go ahead and get into this here view from the petty few, because I haven't been petty. I have not been petty in a long time. Because, we have made the commitment to ourselves at the beginning of 2023 that I shall not be as petty as I have been in previous years. But right now I'm being real petty. Because,
I don't remember co-signing on that. Wait, what did we say?
I said I was going to do better. So I've been doing better.
Okay.
All right. But today I done took and I'm on the petty pew. All that's missing is my helmet with the gold glitter on the side to identify me as captain of the petty pew. All right. So right now, I just been perusing these internet streets, and I keep seeing the conversation come to the forefront about how fathers don't get their just due on Father's Day. So yeah, can we talk about how fathers don't get enough love? I mean, not for nothing is the universe working against all the dads in the United States in particular, because why is it that yet again Father's Day is eclipsed by something else? Father's Day is falling on Juneteenth on this year. Yeah, let's have a moment of silence. Not for Juneteenth, but for the fathers everywhere, who will not only be required to flip burgers and dogs on the grill in their own backyard, but might actually be on some volunteer committee serving that day at some Juneteenth event out here in these streets. I know it's going to be plenty of dad on the grill here in the Lehigh Valley. Yo, fathers don't get their just due, and I'm feeling some type of way because we are surrounded by great men every single day. Talk to me, Karen.
You know what? I don't even know how to advocate for the brothers, because y'all know I'll show up for y'all. You know, we got so many things going on, and I promise you, this weekend we got Juneteenth celebrations the whole weekend. Skip past Father's Day. I can't even find a card. Did nobody remind me that Father's Day is this week? Y'all know for Mother's Day they start in March, reminding us Mother's Day. Father's Day, they be like, oh yeah, on Sunday there will be a Father's Day celebration. And you like, wait.
So call your daddy, and that's about it. What?
I got to see something. Like, listen, if it wasn't for Amazon Prime, well, daddy only want money, thank the Lord. So I could cash at him something and we'd be fine. However, if I want to send a card with some cash in it, that's a thing. And my challenge with what you said, Tilted, is just that. Why are we in the midst of having to figure out, okay, dads, y'all can't sit down nowhere. Mothers, we trying to pamper them. We stay out the kitchen, sit down somewhere. Fathers, they want you to mow the grass, have the cookout, be the lead chef on the grill master, and don't you sit down nowhere till the sun go down. So I feel like I need to run this over.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful tonight that we got this masculine energy here with us to help us, or maybe even add to some of our petty views from the petty pew. So this is a little offshoot of your interview. What are some of the pettiest Father's Day experiences you've had in your life, Afotey?
Well, to be honest with you, I gotta say I've been fortunate in the sense that I personally, ever since I've been a father for 20 years, and I've never had a bad Father's Day, not once. And I'm very simple, so I might not be the best judge here. I might not be the best conversationalist on this. All I want is the big piece of chicken to spend time with my kids, and that's it. That's all I want. I don't want like any fancy gifts. I don't want any like trips or anything like that. I just want to chill with my kids and eat. That's it. So, and that is fairly easy to, fulfill. That's a fairly easy wish to fulfill. You know what I mean? So I've never really had any problems with it. I will say though that my baby mother, her name is Latoya, and we're super cool now. Like I love her to death now. In fact, I'm going to be filming her wedding. She's marrying a really nice guy. And I'm going to be filming their wedding soon. Can't none of y'all raggedy ass baby daddies say that, but we being petty, right? Are we being petty?
We on the pew. Right? Let me get my fan out. Hold up. Go ahead.
So, but yeah, me and her are super cool. But there definitely was a point in the beginning when we kind of broke up, when our daughter was young, where she did everything she could to like kind of make it hard for me. But even then, on Father's Day, I was able to see my daughter. I was able to hang out with my daughter. I was able to do whatever I wanted with my daughter. You know what I mean? She had full custody and all of that kind of stuff. So, But eventually everything worked out and we're now cool as the other side of the pillow. But outside of that, I can't think of any bad Father's Days I've ever had. But now, if we go to what I see from what other people are experiencing and from what other folks are, professing on social media, you know, you would think Father's Day is like, just like the worst day ever, like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I guess um my circle of men, of fathers, um we're all kind of like cool. So, we all get good Father's Days, you know what I mean? So
That's a
we
good thing.
we the women that are in our lives, the women that we partner with to have children they all pretty much have their heads on their shoulders. So, they've never really had bad Father's Days, but I hear horror stories. I do hear horror stories.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that that's not your experience. And any of y'all, that want to change your Father's Day experience, make sure you catch up to Afotey per animmedia.com. All right, he got to talk to him. He might offer you some counseling service. Who knows? He is very educated. I'm sure you heard that at the top of the show. So before we segue into this situation that we finna get into, I want to go ahead and stop right here and take a break. You know why?
Why?
I gotta give away. I gotta give away. I gotta give away. I gotta give away. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, oh, you like that, right? I was like, Lord, where did this come from? And then, it's just, I'm fitting to use it. Shout out to Bobby Brown. But yeah, at the top of the show, you heard Karen Sims discuss the fact that Twisted Threads is sponsoring a giveaway to the fashion show being presented by Tracy Springer of Tracy's Treasures here in Eastern Pennsylvania at the Seagal Museum. And I know y'all been hanging out. Y'all want to know who finna be the winner of these here tickets. Can I get a drum roll, y'all? All right, stop. Tonight's winner of the tickets to attend the fashion experience at Seagal's Museum is none other than our very good sister friend, prayer partner, and partner in some other things, the beautiful Miss Leslie Coleman. Go on, clap it up for sis. Go on, clap it up for sis. That's right. So if Leslie is not in the chat right now, some of y'all know who Leslie is. Blow up her inbox. Yeah. Tell her to get at Karen Sims or myself so we can get you the information you need. So don't nobody try and act crazy when you get to the museum door, all right, to enjoy the fashion experience. I'll be there to say hi, girl. All right. Text my phone just in case they give you any problems. But we're going to have you set up real nice and real pretty. And we'll discuss the particulars off air. So congratulations, Leslie Coleman. Not only is she a winner on the show, she's a winner in life. Just a bit of her backstory. She's also our super fan out shout out tonight. And I usually do that at the top of the show. But Leslie is a queen walking. And she get it from her mama. Shout out to Mom Betty, and also to the young queen in the house that came through the fruit of their loins, who graduated yet again, got papered up yet again. Her baby Ashley Claxton. We see you, girl. Listen, Leslie has worked for years for the judiciary here in Warren County. So she over there in the judiciary, I'm over here in the county office, and we are legitimately a part of the change that we want to see out here by the work, our administrative gifts, that we're able to bring and basically bring it to the people, because we blackity black 365 24/7
all day long.
So all day long. So congratulations to you, Leslie. We love you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the road trips. Thank you for the, carpet moments in worship where we've had to tarry and carry one another through. Look at where we are now. We grew up quite nicely.
Now, Tilted, I gotta remind you that
What's that?
when we took that Essence trip, Leslie was actually traveling at the same time, so we were sitting in different seats, but still in that same circle at that same time, and ever since, her support has been immeasurable for all of the things that we do. So very fitting. Glad to be celebrating. I would have did that if this wasn't a sponsorship at all. But congrats to you, sis, for just all that you do, and keep encouraging folks, because we need you. So I don't know about the rest of the world. We need you, and know what the light that you bring. So appreciate that so much. All right. I talked about the Father's Day. I'm going to try my best to get something out in the mail so that there'll be some cash or a gift card or something. And then I'm bad like this. So I buy Father's Day gifts all around you get birthday, Christmas, and Father's Day. Now, here's the problem. Afotey, I got to go search around this house and remember where I hid these gifts at, so that they can get them where they need to get in this house. I'm a woman of a certain age, and I do not remember where I hid them myself. Okay, so we may or may not have situations when Father's Day get here. That's all. So
that's funny.
We're gonna see how that goes, Tilted. I ain't sure. So I'm scratching my head because I just realized today that Father's Day is this Sunday. I've been preparing for it for about 3 to 4 months. Now I got to go.
Get it together, sis. Get it together.
Figure out where this stuff is. So
get it together, sis. And it's okay because you ready.
I'm ready, one way or another. I'm ready. Now I just got to get this stuff.
Yes, Donnell. Yes, Natural B. You too. See, this is what I'm talking about. Juneteenth this, Juneteenth that. And, we finna get into that. But check it out. It's the totally eclipse Father's Day.
So y'all can't say y'all forgot. Amazon Prime, you can order at the store and have people go pick it up too. I'm trying to help y'all. Do not.
I'm saying
we can't let our brothers not be celebrated. Okay, so we gotta go get the stuff. Don't order from Temu. TT, I mentioned it because it ain't gonna get here in time. If you ordering from something international, it ain't getting here in time. But I think
about a month.
Go ahead and get some electronics from one of them big box stores. You can order it and have your loved one go pick it up in the store. Listen, I'm trying to help y'all because our fathers need to be celebrated, even if we just now remember. We're gonna do better. But I promise you, I got t-shirts, I got gift cards, I got jewelry. I just gotta find it. And it's going to be an amazing Father's Day for a couple of the significant ones in my life. As soon as I find this stuff, y'all, I wish that this was made up.
You're going to find all that stuff as soon as you hang up this podcast.
Okay,
watch. That's what's going to happen. I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there.
That's right. That's right. Extend your right hand that represents power to all the prayer warriors. Touch your mind, God.
I got some of everything in this house. And so thankfully, I'm a generous person. But with that generosity, next year, here's what I'm doing for next year. I'm going to find me one good spot to put all of this stuff. So
please and thank you, ma'am.
All of the positivity. All right, we're gonna get somewhere. All right.
Oh Lord, and Natural D clearly is going through too. I'm gonna put her on blast. But check it out.
I remember my birthday. Okay.
The cackles have cleared my throat. You know what? Let me get some water to. Because we got to get into this next segment. Karen.
Yes. We're moving along. Listen, y'all tracking with us. We told y'all grab your passport today because we were
You
not
never
sure
know.
we are going. And today, y'all done traveled. Y'all traveling with me to every closet in my house. So y'all see doors behind me. Ain't no telling where they lead to. So we're gonna see what we find when we open them doors too. Tilted, you ready to move us along?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
What time is it, Karen? It's past that 7. Let's get ready to go down, girl.
What segment would that be?
What's really going on? What's really going on? What's really going on? What's really going
Really
on?
going on?
What's really going on?
And on and
What's
on
really going on?
and on and
What's
on.
really going on?
Going
What's
on.
really going on?
We ain't
Hey!
gotta stop at some
Wiki,
time.
wiki, wiki, wiki,
Oh,
wiki, wiki,
this
wiki,
time.
wiki, wiki. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I started to feel that. What's really going on? So, of course, we like to keep it lit with the funny, the ha-ha, the kiki over here. But I got to take a turn for a moment because we've been talking about a whole lot of blackness on tonight. So, of course, I want to turn it down a little bit. I had the awesome opportunity to be able to stand and read Let America Be America, written by the literary great Langston Hughes on Sunday afternoon as part of the Lehigh Valley Juneteenth activity. And as I was preparing this piece, I legitimately had to put it down and pick it back up again as I allowed it to resonate in my spirit so I could present it the way it needed to be presented and give it its due. The words of this piece are very, very powerful. And I think it's appropriate that we go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and reread this thing here for you all on the platform. And then we're going to get into a conversation because this is a serious think piece. So if you do not mind, I am going to take the opportunity to read in your hearing Let America Be America by Langston Hughes. Let America be America. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great, strong land of love, where never kings connive nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, and of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker, sold to the machine. I am the Negro, servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean, hungry yet today, despite the dream, beaten yet today. Oh, pioneers, I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet, I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world, while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings. In every brick and stone, in every furrow turned, this that's made America the land it's become. Oh, I am the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home. For I'm the one who left Dark Island's shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lea. And torn from Black Africa's strand, I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Not me. Surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all the dreams we've dreamed, and all the songs we've sung, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung, the millions who have nothing for our pay, except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose blood and sweat, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Surely, call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain. For those who live like leeches on people's lives, we must take back our land again. America, oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me, and yet I swear by this oath, America will be. Out of the rack and ruin of our gangster death, the rape and the rot of graft and stealth and lies, we the people must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plain. All, all the stretch of these great green states, and make America great again. Excuse me. Yeah, I put that there on purpose because I'm finna start something. All right. Yeah, this poem was written while Langston Hughes was traveling from New York to see his mother in Ohio in the year 1935. It was published in the year 1936. Now, due to recent personal events and reviews and the health of his mother in the year 1935, he turned to writing as an outlet to express some of his deeper thoughts that about what was truly taking place and what it was like to live in America at that time. Such irony that the words of what Mr. Hughes wrote so many years ago, hey, this thing is impactful and powerful today. So I kind of want to get into it. Y'all know I'm a little bit of a rebel. And can we talk about any emotions that this piece may have stirred up within you? And tonight, I want to go ahead and yield the floor to you, Afotey, first.
I want to say the first thing that comes to mind when I hear that is I don't know if pity is the right word, but actually pity is not the right word. The right word is probably actually more so like a vindication, right? In the sense that like we are finally starting to see, and I see this with my kids, right, a lot, because my kids, I live in Piscataway, which is a very, very diverse town here in New Jersey, Central Jersey. And like I got Indian neighbors, I got white neighbors, I got Asian neighbors, I got every nationality on the planet as a neighbor. on my street alone. And it's reflected in the schools, it's reflected in the staff of the schools. And all these kids, they all play together, they all, get along really well. And I think the one part where Langston talks about, the youth being the forebearers and the arbiters of change. um, I think this poem brings a sense of vindication in the sense that, yes, it was written in 1930 something and still resonates today. You know, my math is off, 90, almost 90 something years later.
I think my nose.
Um,
I now put it. It's 88 years later.
yeah, 88 years later. Yes, my math is bad. I'm much better at English than I'm in math, which is ironic because I did computer science for so many years. But I think, now we're seeing a lot of youth be more tolerant of each other, different races. I think America is slow, even though, because like the news, right, is designed to sensationalize. The news, the media is designed to, if you don't put a cold headline and some wild ass thumbnail, nobody's going to read or click on your thing, right? So it's designed to sensationalize. But I think if you go into, Americana, right, itself, you see a lot of racism will never end. Racism will never die. That's just an unfortunate fact about the human condition. But it's becoming less and less in favor than it was in years
Mhm.
past, regardless of what the news tells you. If you talk to the average person on the street, and in fact, to be honest with you, the news kind of does betray that a little bit in the sense that, when you see these stories about certain people, non-melanated people freaking out about, having our story be told, indigenous people's stories be told, people, LGBTQ people having their stories be told, you know, them freaking out about this is a clear sign of the death throes of white supremacy. It's the beginning of the
Oh,
death throes of it. um, I don't think, again, we'll never fully truly get rid of it, but I mean, it's inevitable that within the next, generation or two, white people in this country will be the minority. You understand what I'm
mm,
saying? Like, and that's inevitable. That's just a fact that they cannot escape, and they're freaking out about it. You know what I mean? Because they think, and this is something that Malcolm X said, or was it Elijah Muhammad? I think it was Elijah Muhammad actually, who no, it was Louis Farrakhan who said this. He actually said this on the Donahue show, as a matter of fact. He was like, white people, some white people, not all of them, but some white people are afraid that when we rise to power, that we will do to them what their ancestors did to us. And that's not necessarily the mind of the black people. You know what I'm saying? That's not
amen.
necessarily the mind of the colored people, right? We don't operate on that frequency like some Europeans do, right? Like if you look at their history, and again, this is not all white people. I have white people in my family, and I know that they're not like this. But if you look at European history, it's all about conquest, subjugation. Everywhere they went, literally everywhere they went, they raped, pillaged, subjugated the indigenous people, right? Literally. And this is not me making it up. This is not me, serving hyperbole. This is fact. This is historical fact, right? And um, you know, the fact that that is part of their nature, right, makes them think that everybody else must
That way.
in fact share that same nature, and we don't.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So they're freaking out about it. They're losing their hold on the economy. They're losing their hold on society. They're losing their hold on, the narrative that's being, told, um, in terms of the history of America and stuff like this. And they're freaking out. That's why you got, punks like Ron DeSantis and, other people banning books that mostly deal with, telling stories and experiences of people who aren't straight white men. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I say all that to say that poem invokes a sense of vindication within me, because it kind of outlines, like, yeah, like, America's finna actually be great in a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, give it a couple generations, and if things keep going the way that they're going, it will actually be a great country. You know what I'm saying? It will be good for more than just making money, because that's pretty much all it's
Amen.
good for now, is making money and Texas barbecue. But
Shout out to pulled pork and them. Oh, I'm sorry.
you know what I'm saying?
A good country cornbread biscuit. Yeah, but good stuff,
Yes.
Afotey. Good
Hmm.
stuff. Karen, I see you in your thinker over there. I
Listen,
see it.
I appreciate everything that is said, and I think one of the things that resonates with me is one of the things that I know us that are seen as minorities now who are moving into the majority, we are hopeful. And it's more than just an undying hope. I love the fact that we started the conversation in reference to people are not, they label it and say like they're afraid of what we're doing or we're trying to cancel them. The thing is, though, um, when we start learning about other cultures and learning about the actual details that Afate had mentioned some things of, it's like us sharing the cheat codes. They don't want nobody to know the cheat codes, because then we get
Facts.
to get as far as they have gotten if we use the same codes. Like even the indictment of the former president, honey. Listen, y'all better look behind that smoke, okay? Everybody all listen, it's a setup.
No, 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 no. It's a
It's a
setup.
setup. It's a setup. So
Yep.
be wise in what it is that you are celebrating, because there's
Hmm.
always an ulterior motive. And when it is allowed, it's because there are other cheat codes that are going to be used to flip the script. And then y'all gonna find some other things. Listen, I just feel it because I'm like, okay, are we doing this? Because the next they're gonna come after Uncle Joe, and they're setting a precedent for something that will be greater
Yes.
what you see. And if you haven't learned anything from history that does repeat itself, our children know racism because they've been taught it. They didn't get born that way. It wasn't that way. But somebody said your blackness is too much. Your brownness is not enough. Like even within our own circles. So I love Langston Hughes, and I'm appreciative of the light that he was putting on a lived experience that was not well known by many, because there are certain folks, now we call it privilege, sometimes we label it white fragility, what anti-racism, whatever you label it. Everybody does not have to take notice of my experience. Why? Because it's not their lived experience. And this here reminds us that there was a promise. America was a promise. And it wasn't just a promise to originally for one group of people. But honey, we here now, we're not going nowhere. So this promise extends, and we've been adopted into it, whether we want to or not. And so literally, listen, I'm coming to get mine. Y'all coming to get yours? That part.
Run me my paper, to quote my friend and brother Fred Jackson of FA
Run me
Concepts.
my doubloons. Yes.
Okay, run me my coins. Shout out to you and Angela, Fred. But yes, thank both of you for your input and sharing your thoughts on this piece, because when I was able to view the video footage of me reading the piece on that day on Sunday afternoon, I said, "Girl, you look like you was finna get to preaching that there thing." I stomped my foot at one point as I was reading, standing there, and I was like, wow, my body language speaks volumes. And I knew at that moment that this was something that I could bring here, and we could, just have conversation to build on. And hopefully, any something that you all heard on this platform on tonight gave you, look, I got a whole It was a light bulb moment for y'all.
Right now.
And you will walk away from tonight's broadcast with a little bit more of an unction to go ahead and do it. So, I get to do what I want to do, and we're about to go into a little bit of overtime because it's my show. It's Karen's show. It's our platform. This is how we do. So, we cannot let you walk away without feeding y'all because we some good hosts over here. So get ready. You all are about to receive yet another reflection of purpose. She's serving up some meaty nuggets. She was on one early today, y'all. Karen Sims of Twisted Threads with yet another beautiful presentation of reflection of purpose. Go ahead, Karen.
Listen, we're going to put that other one up because it was a conversation and a reminder. This morning's title was Friendship Boot Camp, because sometimes we got to learn how to be one. But tonight, your reflections of purpose, it's time to leap. It is time to leap. The LEEP. Let everything else pause. Let everything else pause so that you get the opportunity to focus. Let everything else pause so that you can make your checklist and make sure you ain't missed nothing on it. Make sure that the raisins didn't spill into the potato salad by mistake because you let everything else pause. You using a good mayonnaise, not that Miracle Whip. Let everything else pause. You making a plan for what your future is going to look like. Let everything else pause and write the vision so that you know which direction you running in. Listen, I could use a lot of words, but I don't have to. When the nugget is that good, let everything else pause. And I'm gonna go into the bag of my sister Tilted and say, go ahead and put yourself first. Don't be afraid of what the folks are saying about you. Make the choice and do what needs to be done. You already been thinking about it. You've been watching. You got the post. You got the Pinterest. You got all of the stuff. You ready. Now let everything else pause and believe in you. Believe that you got the gift. Believe that you got everything that you need inside of you. And guess what? Believe that if you don't have it as you go along, the squad is going to form and get in formation right around you. This is how you see us build this platform. It wasn't by mistake. These were conversations that were had over oatmeal raisin cookies and some water and green tea. Okay, I'm telling you true stories. When you let everything else pause and move away from the excuses, what I just posted something earlier, then you will see results. So take that leap, LEEP. Let everything else pause. What? And move forward for the win, because y'all know I'm here for the cake now. That's why we celebrate the win, because I want the cake, the cupcake, the ice cream, the whipped cream, and the cherry, all of it. That's the purpose tonight. Leap.
Leap. I know that's right. I'm here for all the cake too. Yeah. What's up, Tay? What's good?
I just want to chime in. I needed to hear that. I really, really needed to hear that. Awesome. As somebody who is currently in one of those months where it's like, what are my kids going to eat? You know what I mean? Like, I really, really needed to hear that. And thank you. I really thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So look our work here today is done. And again, we said it earlier in the show, we don't believe in happenstance, but everything has a season. I guess it was your season. It was your day to be on the show. 6/13/23. I'm gonna get into that conversation off air because some of y'all can't handle that level of tilted halo. So you already know what it is. Thank you again to all of our viewers who stuck with us on tonight, and thank you again for all of you who will go ahead and click play and catch us on the replay. We appreciate your love and support so very, very much. Thank you, Karen Sims. Thank you, Afotey Annum of Per Annum Media. And I am your girl, Tilted Halo, with that last word, that just be. And, all I'm going to say is just be sure that your health insurance policy in place with all this encouragement to be out here leaping and things. You might mess up your kneecaps if you get to leaping the way I feel. Just make sure your health insurance policy is in place. And check us out next week with another fabulous guest we are getting lifetime fine here at the Unhinged Radio Show. Thanks for tuning in. We out.
Peace.